They traced the money found on the burglars back to creep. They connected the break-in to higher and higher officials in the Nixon administration. And they had help from one of the most mysterious sources in journalism history, a secret informant they called Deep Throat. Deep Throat would meet Woodward in a dimly lit parking garage in the middle of the night and drop breadcrumbs that kept the investigation alive. This is like something out of a spy thriller, except this was real, in the nation's capital, and about the sitting president. But his most famous advice? Follow the money. And follow it they did. 'Cause the money trail was damning. Those $100 bills found on the burglars, they were traced to Creep's campaign fund. And the money had been laundered through a Mexican bank account to hide the source. We're talking about $25,000 in campaign donations that were literally washed through another country and handed to guys in rubber gloves breaking into an office at 2 a.m. And the deeper Woodward and Bernstein got, the worse it got. The conspiracy didn't start at the Watergate. It started at 1600 Pennsylvania Ave, the White House. What? Oh, and Deep Throat's real identity? Nobody found out for 33 years. It wasn't until 2005 that Mark Felt, the former associate director of the FBI, revealed that he had been Deep Throat all along. The number 2 man at the FBI had been secretly feeding information to reporters to take down a corrupt president. That is absolutely wild. And inside the White House, the cover-up was in full swing. 'Cause Nixon's inner circle, guys like H.R. Haldeman, John Ehrlichman, and John Mitchell, the Attorney General of the United States, were working overtime to bury the connection. They paid hush money to the burglars, pressured the CIA to shut down the FBI's investigation, destroyed documents, and lied to Congress. But the walls were closing in fast, and the first major crack came from John Dean, Nixon's White House counsel and top legal advisor. Dean had been right in the middle of the cover-up, and as the pressure mounted, he realized something terrifying. Nixon was going to let everyone else take the fall to save himself. So Dean made a choice. He flipped. In June 1973, John Dean sat down before the Senate Watergate Committee, live on national television with tens of millions of Americans watching. He sat at a long table, microphone in front of him, with the whole country holding its breath. And in a calm, measured voice that somehow made it even more devastating, Dean said the words that shook the nation. He told the committee he had warned Nixon that there was a cancer growing on the presidency. And then for hours, he described in devastating detail how the President of the United States had personally participated in the cover-up. The hush money payments, the obstruction, the lies, all of it. And the room was electric. America was glued to the screen. But it was still Dean's word against the president's. Until one of the craziest plot twists in American history. 'Cause during the Senate hearings, a former White House aide named Alexander Butterfield casually revealed something that changed everything. There was a secret recording system in the Oval Office. Nixon, the most paranoid man in Washington, had installed a voice-activated taping system that had been secretly recording every single conversation in the White House since 1971. Every single word. We're talking about roughly 3,700 hours of recordings. The man who was desperately trying to hide what he knew had been recording himself the entire time. That's like robbing a bank and live streaming it with your location turned on. What the heck, man? Suddenly, the entire scandal came down to one thing: the tapes. If Congress could get those recordings, they'd have Nixon exactly where they wanted him.